My Lords, I rise mainly to support my noble friend Lord Leo Hurley and his amendment number 5 and 21 in this group, which rightly shines a light on the way in which this policy particularly benights graduates who are starting out on their careers. The government has perpetrated the lie that the restrictions on salary sacrifice will only affect the fat cats, those with the broadest shoulders, whatever that means, the higher earners, another nebulous term, and certainly not hard-working families or those that are hourly paid. It's just not true. It's an example of Labour's mis-selling, which is why I support Amendment number 1 in the name of my noble friend Baroness Neville Rolfe. Now, the Daily Telegraph reports that 3.3 million employees will be affected. The Times accuses the government of wilfully obscuring the effects of their proposals on employees who are left behind after the real fat cats have run for the border. But far the most affected group are the youngsters at the start of their careers. Graduates, people making a start in their working lives. They're already burdened by the Renters' Rights Act, which has driven up their rents, or the Employment Rights Act that has made it harder for businesses to take a chance on someone starting out, or graduates seeking a graduate programme that's been bombed out by the jobs tax and dynamised by the rises in the minimum wage that reduces the incentive for employees to train up the newbies. But now we've got a further insult, an assault on Generation Z, that with the proposals of this slim bill with fat consequences in an unthinking aggravation of intergenerational unfairness. Let nobody say that Labour is on the side of the youngsters who wants to get on. And even the OBR has twigged that what we on these benches have been saying for months, that the cumulative effect of all these issues are damaging incentives to work, harming those trying to climb that ladder of success. Now, at the second reading, I gave the example of my daughter's boyfriend, who's got a good job in the West End. He's no fat cat. He lives in a flat share in Brixton with people he doesn't know. But his employer has recognised his hard work and, importantly, the value he brings to the business, and they gave him a bonus of £17,000. Of that, he kept less than 6, a marginal rate of 71%, not just because of the tax, but on the account of his student loan repayments. I really don't know why it's taken or how it's taken so long for the OBR to realise that it doesn't pay to work. How much can these people be expected to bear? But at least he had salary sacrifice to save for a pension for his future, to reduce his reliance on the state in later life, because let's face it, employers are still shoveling cash into defined benefit schemes which aren't even available to the students, who have to make do and mend with the less generous defined contribution arrangements instead. But by this bill, even that has been snatched away, as the noble Baroness Altman has so forensically exposed. Taken together, these proposals risk salary sacrifice being taken away as a thing, which will damage employers and damage their opportunities to attract and retain the best talent, because it'll just become too complicated. And as the Spectator's leader last week asked, is it still worth going to university? When the world's oldest magazine starts questioning the value of higher education, you have to wonder for our economy, our society, the future prosperity of our nation, and what it says about aspiration in these islands. As somebody said last week, you used to get something from hard work, a reward for initiative, doing the right thing, but instead everyone's being beaten with a stick. This incessant tinkering undermines confidence in the pension system itself. Long-term plans can't be taken when the goalposts keep moving. People just conclude that savouring for a pension just isn't for me. The consequences of this lack of trust, which this government is driving, is you end up with people investing in Lego sets, Star Wars characters, silver slivers, and Bitcoin. Try spending those at Tesco's. It's bad for everybody, but especially the youngsters starting out. The government is not on the side of these people. They are the ones who are driving intergenerational unfairness. All students and graduates want is for the government to give them a break. But instead they're being broken. And this bill is the final straw.
Yeah.